Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahawashi, double honor to the elder apostles of Great Millstone. Salutations to all the Akim out there pushing the word of Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahawashi in truth and sincerity. Today, I'm going to get into a lesson to jump off the points of a video that a brother from Chicago made. His name is Rataza Wanya, and he has a sit down on GMS Jumping Points page. Yahawashi's murder brought the fullness of the curses. And in this video, pretty much he illustrates how after Yahawashi's death, that's when the fullness of the curses came upon the nation of Israel. Okay, and the point, one of the points that he made in the video, well, just the general point in general, was that a lot of people in the world, they believe that the curses, the completeness and fullness of the curses, were fulfilled with the Assyrians and Babylonians and the Romans. Okay, but that's not the case when you really looking into the scriptures, because the scriptures say that that the curses would overtake us and pursue us. Okay, and that the Jews would be led captive into all the nations. All right, so the Jews were led captive into all the nations. Then that means that in some way, shape, or form, the curses had to take place upon them where they were at. Okay, and that the curses were inflicted upon them, the Israelites, by every nation under the sun. Okay, and that would have to include America as well, because America is indeed a nation. Okay, so without further ado, I'm just gonna jump into it. Zechariah chapter 1, verse 18, just to start off. It says, "Then lifted up mine eyes, and then lifted I up mine eyes, and saw, and behold, 4 horns. And I said unto the angel that talked with me, What be these? And he answered me, These are the horns which have scattered Judah, Israel, and Jerusalem." Right, and we know those 4 horns that scattered Judah, Israel, and Jerusalem were the Babylonians, the Assyrian Babylonian Empire. You had the Medo-Persian Empire, you had the Greek Empire, and you had the Roman Empire. Okay, and they scattered our people. Okay, because they came against our people with war, with the sword. They besieged our cities. All right, and they took us into captivity into their nations, and we also fled from them into various other nations, and were put into captivity in those nations that we fled to. Verse 20, it says, "And the Lord shewed me 4 carpenters, and then said I, What come these to do? And he spake, saying, These are the horns which have scattered Judah, so that no man did lift up his head. But these are come to fray them, to cast out the horns of the Gentiles, which lifted up their horn over the land of Judah, to scatter it." Okay, so the Lord has judgments for these 4 different nations. The Babylonians, which have received their judgment, the Persians, the Greeks, and the Roman Empire for lifting up and ruling over the land of Israel, or over the Israelites, and scattering them, man. All right, and the 4th judgment has not been fulfilled, because according to Revelations, that great dragon came back after 1,000 years, which I'm going to get later in the lesson. All right, so that judgment has not fully been fulfilled, because the Roman Empire is indeed back today on earth, okay, in a different form. All right, so before I get to that, just to bring out the precept in Daniel, concerning the 4 beasts, and just focusing on that very 4th beast. Daniel 7 and 7, "After this I saw in the night visions, and behold, a 4th beast, dreadful and terrible, and strong exceedingly, and it had iron teeth. It devoured and brake in pieces, and stamped the residue with the feet of it, and it was diverse from all the beasts that were before it, and it had 10 horns." And that's talking about the Roman Empire. Okay, the Roman Empire came into power and ruled, and they were indeed diverse. There was a diverse population of the Roman Empire, because they had not scattered, but conquered and subjugated so many nations, and absorbed a lot of those nations into their empire. Okay, a lot of those regions and territories, so they became a very diverse empire. "And I considered the horns, and behold, there came up among them another little horn, before whom there were 3 of the first horns plucked up by the roots. And behold, in this horn were eyes like the eyes of a man, and a mouth speaking great things." And I'll stop right there. It says that there was a little horn that came out from the other 10 horns. Okay, and this little horn came out of this beast, and this beast is the Roman Empire. All right, and it says that this horn had a mouth speaking and boasting great things. All right, who was that? Which nation on the earth has arisen? All right, which power structure on the earth has arisen out of the Roman Empire and speaks great things? All right, that's America, man. America is the proudest nation on the planet. Okay, on the planet, America, the proud, the free. All right, and they speak against the Most High. Okay, so if that's the case, if there's a remnant of the Roman Empire on earth today, then that means that in the form of America, which is a nation, then that must mean that the Israelites had to be scattered into America by way of slavery. Okay, according to the curses of Deuteronomy 28. And according to the words of who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ, the Lord did say that the Jews would be led captive into all nations. Okay. But before I get that, I'll get Deuteronomy 28. Deuteronomy 28 and 45, it says, "Moreover, all these curses shall come upon thee, and shall pursue thee, and overtake thee, till thou be destroyed." Okay, so that means that wherever the Israelites go, okay, wherever they go, the curses would be upon them. Now, if the Jews in the land of Israel today, the people in the land of Israel today, or the people around the world who are claiming themselves to be Jews, were indeed under the curses, then why are they not the tail and not the head? They're above everything. They own the media, okay? They own the food industry. They own Wall Street. They own all these banks and everything, man. They're not the tail. They're the head. Okay, so that means that they can't be the Jews. So who does this apply to? It only applies in the Western Hemisphere to the Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, because even the Latinos in their own countries have to be subject to international laws. Okay, even in their own countries, they have ambassadors that aren't even native to the country, man. A lot of them are from Europe or from Asia somewhere, man. Okay. Because thou hearkenest not unto the voice of the Lord thy God to keep his commandments and his statutes which he commanded thee, and they shall be upon thee for a sign and for a wonder, and upon thy seed forever. Okay, so that doesn't mean that means that okay. Well, basically, what that doesn't mean is that, all right, the Romans came into power and they besieged Jerusalem, and the curses came upon the Israelites, and that was it. No, that eliminates that hypothesis and that persuasion, because it can't be true. It can't be true. That means if it says upon thee and thy seed forever, that means those curses were a reoccurring thing. Okay, they had to keep happening. All right, until Yahawashi came back and delivered his people, man. Until the Lord sent a deliverer for the nation of Israel. And the Lord did send his son the first time, but his son hasn't come back yet. So that means that the Israelites are still under the curses, especially considering that the laws have not been written in the inward parts yet. Okay, so that means that the children of Israel are still going off today, and therefore they're still under the curses, and that it will still go into captivity into all the nations. Okay, whether it were by slave ship or by what, captivity was bound to happen, period. Okay, didn't just stop with the Romans and then that was it. Didn't just stop with the Babylonians and the Assyrians and that was it. Because if that was the case, then that would pretty much, I guess that would make the angel of Zechariah a liar. I guess it stopped with the Babylonians, all right, and during the time of the Persians, Greeks, and Romans, the Israelites didn't endure the curses. I guess, Zechariah chapter 1 going off, but it's not. Next precept in the same chapter, Deuteronomy 28 and 64, and the Lord shall scatter thee among all people from the one end of the earth even to the other, and there thou shalt serve other gods, which neither thou nor thy fathers have known, even wood and stone. And that's pretty much plain. Okay, the Israelites were scattered among all people. That includes America. All right, regardless of whether or not you want to agree that Deuteronomy 28 is talking about America or not, which we know, we believe through the Spirit that it is, okay, because Egypt does mean to bind or with bondage when you go into the root word, okay, so it doesn't have to be a physical place, Egypt, all right. But even if you don't want to agree with that, the fact of the matter is the Lord said that he was going to scatter his people among all people from the one end of the earth even to the other. At the time that this was written, they were on the eastern hemisphere, and and the Western Hemisphere was not populated. Okay, so that other end has to be the Americas and the Caribbean islands. Period. So show me that happening to those fake gutter rat Jews, where they were scattered into America, and they served other gods, both wood and stone, and they stopped believing and practicing Zionism and Judaism. When did that happen? When did that happen? Verse 65, and among these nations shalt thou find no ease. No ease. No ease. Okay? These Amalekites, they come over to America and they live it up, man. They live it up. Even in their complaining and all the complaining that they do, they still have their own communities. They got their own businesses. They're rich as fuck. Okay? They live in nice houses. They chilling. They got their synagogues. Ain't nobody fuck with them. Nothing. Neither shall the sole of thy foot find rest, but the Lord shall give thee there a trembling heart and failing of eyes and sorrow of mind. Next precept, Luke chapter 21 verse 24. And they shall fall by the edge of the sword, and they shall be led away captive into all nations, and Jerusalem shall be trodden down of the Gentiles until the time of the Gentiles be fulfilled. All right. So this is concerning 78 A.D. when the curses were about to pretty much be expressed again. Okay. After Yahawashi's death and resurrection and exaltation at the right hand of the Father. All right. The Lord had it where the Romans and their armies surrounded Jerusalem, besieged Jerusalem. All right, and a lot of people died during 70 A.D. All right, and our people were led away captive into all nations. All right, into all nations. So that curse had to continue to happen, or that would make that precept pretty much null and void. Our people fled into Africa. Our people fled. The Israelites fled into the Middle East. They were either taken away captive into the Roman territories, etc., etc. All right. But again, it says that they shall be led away captive into all nations. So it doesn't necessarily mean that the Romans at the time had to bring them into America. It just means that our people, the Israelites, would be led away captive into all nations. All right. And again, it says Jerusalem shall be trodden down of the Gentiles. So that proves that those gutter rat Jews in the land of Israel are not Israelites. They're heathens, man. Because if that wasn't the case, if they were actually the real Jews, if they were the real Jews, then I guess that means that the time of the Gentiles are fulfilled already. And if that's the case, then that would mean that our Lord and Savior Yahawashi came down already, and that hasn't happened yet. Okay. Next precept to show that the Roman Empire did indeed come back is Revelations 20:1. And I saw an angel come down from heaven, having the key of the bottomless pit and a great chain in his hand. And he laid hold on the dragon, that old serpent, which is the devil, and Satan, and bound him 1,000 years. Okay, and when you read Revelations 12, the 12th chapter, it tells you about the red dragon. All right, and that red dragon is the same beast, the fourth beast of Daniel. All right, so the Lord had it in a certain time period where the Roman Empire was taken down. All right, and they were bound 1,000 years. All right, and that's when our people was ruling the Roman Empire. That's when you had all the black faces ruling the Roman Empire, starting with Septimius Severus and the various other emperors of Rome that were also dark skinned. Okay, the Dark Ages. All right, but the next point is really the point. It says, and cast him into the bottomless pit, and shut him up, and set a seal upon him, that he should deceive the nations no more, until the 1,000 years be fulfilled, and after that he shall be loosed a little season. So the Roman Empire went down. Okay, they got overtaken, and they came back after 1,000 years. Okay, so if they came back after 1,000 years, and then that would mean if the Israelites were still sinning during that time period, that means that the curses had to come upon them. All right. And an aspect of that curses is them being under slavery, being scattered by the four horns, and one of the four horns is the Roman Empire, which is the fourth beast in Daniel. And another precept to show you how the Romans came back into power. Revelations 13:1. And I stood upon the sand of the sea, and saw a beast rise up out of the sea, having 7 heads and 10 horns and 10 crowns and upon his horns 10 crowns, and upon his heads the name of blasphemy. Right now, notice how this beast is described as a new beast. Okay, coming out of standing on the sands of the sea and arising up out of the sea. It's described differently than the red dragon. With certain details in verse 2, but it does have certain aspects of it that are also the same, like 10 heads, 10 horns, 10 crowns, the names of blasphemy. All right, and you'll see that Revelations 13:2, and the beast which I saw was like unto a leopard, and his feet were like unto a bear, and his mouth as the mouth of a lion. And the dragon gave him his power and his seat and great authority. All right, so here it is. You have this new beast. All right, which was like unto a leopard, feet like a bear, and mouth as a lion, that inherited the power, seat, and authority, okay, of the dragon, okay, that was before it. Okay, so now you have to ask the question, which how would I say, which power structure on the planet Earth exercises the same, if not greater, power than the Roman Empire, which was the dragon, did at its time in this time? Okay, because this prophecy is a last days prophecy. All right, so you have to show, and you would have to, by a process of elimination, pretty much point out which power structure on the planet Earth exercises the same power and seat and authority as the Roman Empire, and the conclusion is really NATO and America. That's really what it is. Okay, and I also did a sit down on it not too long ago. It's on GMS Battle Axe page, the bottomless pit, proving that the bottomless pit is Europe. But at the same time, in that same video, I linked through the Spirit this beast in Revelations 13 was linked to the beast in Revelations 12, proving that the beast in Revelations 12 was the Roman Empire, and that the beast in Revelations 13 is NATO. Okay, so I'll probably put that in the description box if the Akimi want to watch. Verse 3, and I saw one of his heads as it were wounded to death, and his deadly wound was healed, and all the world wondered after the beast. And that's pretty much going into the Renaissance. The Roman Empire came down, all right, and during the Renaissance there was a rebirth and reintroducing of a lot of the Roman philosophies, okay, and a lot of their ways, back into the mainstream. Okay, so the Roman Empire did come back, and it came back as this new beast, to be formed as this new beast, which is NATO and America. All right, so if it did come back, then that means that this new beast would exercise the same power, like it says, and seat in great authority as the old beast. And the old beast, which was the Roman Empire, okay, the dragon, put Israel in slavery. So which means that all these little European empires that came and went, all right, like the British, the French, the Spanish, the Dutch, and America, which came out of Europe, okay, that means that they had our people in slavery. Okay, they scattered our people. Verse 4, they worshiped the dragon, which gave power unto the beast, and they worshiped the beast, saying, who is like unto the beast, who is able to make war with him? And that's plain. That's easily NATO, because if one nation of NATO gets attacked, if America gets attacked, then all the other nations of NATO gotta go into war. Okay, if the Brits get attacked, the same thing. If the French get attacked, all the NATO nations gotta go to war. Okay. And there was given unto him a mouth speaking great things and blasphemies, and power was given unto him to continue 40 and 2 months. And when you actually go into that phrase, continue 40 and 2 months, it's even in the ledger of the 1611 King James. It says continue to make war 40 and 2 months. All right, and NATO pretty much goes around the world, and America goes around the world fighting wars and causing chaos among the people. Verse 6, and he opened his mouth in blasphemy against God, and to blaspheme his name and his tabernacle and them that dwell in heaven. And it was given unto him to make war with the saints. Who are the saints? The Israelites. Okay, this beast, NATO, all right, which America is part of, made war with the saints, which are the Israelites. All right, and to overcome them. So how did America overcome the Israelites? By putting them into slavery. By putting them into slavery, man. That's the breakdown, man. All right, the curses didn't just stop with the Romans. and power was given him over all kindreds and tongues and nations. All right. So this beast exercised the same power as the dragon, the beast that was before the beast that was before him. All right, and by doing so, he scattered the Israelites. This new beast scattered the Israelites. And when did that take place? When did it take place in history, where the nations who are now part of NATO, all right, had a certain group of people in captivity, and those people, the things that they suffered resemble the curses of Deuteronomy 28. When did that happen? That happened when the conquistadors and Europeans came over here, and they conquered the Native Americans, all right, and the indigenous people of North and South America, Central America, and the Caribbean. All right, they took them into slavery, also brought them back to Europe. Okay, sold them in slavery amongst the little Caribbean islands, and then on top of that, when the colonies were formed, okay, because a lot of the Gadites were either fleeing, and a lot of the indigenous people were either fleeing, or they were just dying off too fast because of all the plagues that Esau brought over here, all the diseases they brought over here. What happened? The British and the Spanish and the Portuguese and all these other nations brought slaves from West Africa, okay, and the French, okay, and brought them to America as well. That's what happened. All right, and the people that they brought into captivity demonstrate, and the things that they suffered resembled the curses of Deuteronomy 28, hands down, man. All right, being hung on trees, being lynched, curses everyone that hangs from the tree, man. That's what's written. You know, so with that, you know, I want to give all praises to Yahawashi, Yahawashi, double honor to the elder apostles of Great Millstone, and salutations to all the Akim out there pushing the word of Yahawashi, Yahawashi in truth and sincerity.